Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Quick Learn Podcast. I'm Alex, and as always, I'm joined by my amazing co-host, Hazel. How's it going, Hazel?
I'm doing great, Alex. Hello to all our listeners. Today, we have an exciting topic, one that many English learners struggle with: how to speak fluently without too many pauses.
That's right. A lot of learners hesitate when speaking English. They pause while searching for words or get stuck because they're translating from their native language. This makes their speech sound less natural.
Exactly. But don't worry, we've got you covered. In this episode, we'll share practical techniques to help you reduce pauses and speak smoothly with confidence.
So, if you've ever felt frustrated because you can't find the right words fast enough, or you keep stopping mid-sentence, stick around.
By the end of this episode, you'll have powerful strategies to think faster, speak more naturally, and feel more confident in English.
Sounds exciting. Let's get started.
Before we jump into the solutions, let's take a moment to understand why pausing happens in the first place. Alex, what do you think is the biggest reason?
I'd say it's a mix of things, but one major factor is confidence. A lot of learners hesitate because they're worried about making mistakes.
Totally. And there are a few other common reasons. Limited vocabulary. When you don't know the right word, it's natural to pause and search for it. Overthinking, trying to translate from your native language into English, can really slow you down. Nervousness. Speaking with native speakers or in high-pressure situations can make anyone freeze up.
And the tricky part is, the more you pause, the more self-conscious you feel, which can create a cycle of hesitation. But the good news is, there are ways to break that cycle.
Let's dive into the solutions. Alex, what's the first tip you'd recommend?
This is a big one. Many learners try to translate word for word from their native language, but English has its own unique structure. That mental translation process is what causes a lot of pauses.
Think in English, not your native language exactly. Instead of translating, try to think directly in English. For example, if you're looking at a beautiful sunset, don't think of the word in your native language. Just think, wow, the sky looks amazing.
A great way to practice this is by describing your surroundings in English. For instance, the coffee smells great. There's a dog barking outside. I need to finish this report by 5 p.m. This helps your brain get used to thinking in English naturally.
A lot of people think filler words like or you know are bad, but they're actually super helpful. Native speakers use them all the time to keep the conversation flowing.
Instead of stopping completely, try using phrases like, well, I think, it's kind of like, actually, I feel that these little phrases buy you time to think without breaking the rhythm of your speech.
Shadowing is one of my favorite techniques. It's all about listening to a native speaker and repeating what they say, almost like an echo.
You can do this with podcasts, YouTube videos, or even movie dialogues. Just play a sentence, pause, and repeat it exactly as you hear it. Over time, this trains your brain to process and produce English faster.
This is so important. Many learners pause because they're trying to say everything perfectly. But here's the truth. Mistakes are part of the learning process.
Exactly. If you forget a word, don't stop. Just describe it. For example, if you can't remember the word umbrella, you could say, it's the thing you use when it's raining.
The goal is to keep the conversation going, not to be flawless.
Now, let's talk about how to train your brain to process English more quickly. Hazel, what's your top tip?
Instead of memorizing individual words, learn whole phrases. For example, don't just learn happy. Learn, I'm so happy for you.
This way, when you're in a conversation, the phrases come out automatically, and you don't have to pause to piece words together.
The more you listen to English, the faster your brain gets at processing it. Try to predict what the speaker will say next. It's like a mental workout for your language skills.
Set a timer for 2 minutes and have a fast-paced conversation with a friend, or even yourself. The goal is to keep talking without stopping.
Pay attention to how native speakers talk, their speed, rhythm, and tone. Try to mimic them as closely as possible. It's like learning to dance by following someone's lead.
Let's give our listeners some hands-on exercises they can start practicing right away. 1-minute challenge. Pick a topic and talk about it for 1 minute without stopping. Story retelling. Listen to a short story or podcast, then try to retell it in your own words. Speed conversations. Have a quick chat with a friend, focusing on keeping the pace fast and smooth. Daily English thoughts. Throughout the day, describe your actions and surroundings in English.
These exercises are designed to help you think faster, speak more naturally, and reduce those pesky pauses.
Let's do a quick recap of what we've covered today. To speak English without pausing too much. Think in English. Skip the translation step. Use filler words. They're your friends, not your enemies. Practice shadowing, mimic native speakers to improve speed and rhythm. Aim for communication, not perfection. Keep talking even if you make mistakes. Train your brain. Learn phrases, listen actively, and imitate native speakers.
Remember, fluency isn't about being perfect. It's about being smooth and confident.
Keep practicing these techniques, and you'll see a huge difference in your English speaking skills.
Thanks for tuning in to Quick Learn Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with anyone who's working on their English fluency.
Until next time, keep learning, keep speaking, and keep shining.